Hi, this is Sid San Juan here, co-parent of fish number 7, aka Muriel. The other parents, Taylor, Austin, and Trey, are busy training the fish, and we didn't want Muriel getting mono, so it's just me today. This is the story of how one ordinary betta fish went from a child's pet to an Olympic favorite using blood, sweat, and the principles of behaviorism. This is Muriel's first training session. The topography we're trying to elicit is for Muriel to follow the training stick. More generally, we just want her to learn that the target stick gives her food, so that we can more effectively shape her behavior into tasks such as going through hoops or tunnels. The task is clearly impeded by the fact that no reinforcer actually came out of the stick here, leaving Muriel probably confused as to why a random tube has infiltrated her home. This clip shows a more adequate trainer actually presenting the reinforcer to the fish. Muriel taking the food is very satisfying as a first-time fish trainer, posing the question, who is training whom here? Giving Muriel pellets results in Muriel taking the food, which leaves the trainer feeling like a great fish mom, and therefore they're more likely to give food again in the future. Sick positive reinforcement, Muriel. As you can see here, the acquisition period for Muriel following the stick was long and grueling. In fact, the latency period for each behavior seemed abnormally long compared to other fish groups we talked to, leading us to believe that Muriel might have a learning disability. However, this underdog persevered and is now a favorite to win the Fish Olympics in Hillsdale 2020. This clip shows Muriel being the best fish ever following the target stick. The food is an appetitive stimulus to the fish because although it smells really bad, apparently tastes good, but I'll take her word for it. She learned to associate the target stick with the food, and it is this contingency that allowed us to train her to follow the target stick and subsequently do other things. This video shows some experimenter error. Muriel expects the food to come out of the stick, but it drops to the bottom without her knowledge. Enough presentations of the target stick without the food can result in Muriel developing what we would call trust issues, but serious behaviorists would say that Muriel will go through the extinction process because following the target stick is no longer reinforced by the food. Here, Muriel is reinforced for getting close to the hoop, but she fails miserably at going through the hoop. But with enough reinforcement at successive approximations to the target behavior, Muriel should be going through the hoop in no time. The latency for this behavior, going through the hoop, took a few training sessions of a couple minutes each. Muriel successfully goes through the hoop here. The speed of the response is only a few seconds because Muriel is an exceptionally fast swimmer and goes through it fast with the expectation of a reinforcer in the form of food. However, here lies another opportunity for extinction because Muriel failed to see the reinforcer and is subsequently verbally abused by one of our trainers.
Go! Stupid! Oh my gosh, okay.
This type of interaction demonstrates our trainer's attempt at positive punishment. With the addition of the insult, the trainer hopes that the behavior of not seeing the reinforcer will decrease. However, it is a good thing that Muriel does not speak English because the trainer could have inadvertently punished the behavior of going through the hoop. It is unknown how this degradation affects her performance. It is also true that Muriel not being reinforced every time is not a completely bad thing. This constitutes a partial reinforcement schedule where not every behavior is reinforced every time, and this type of reinforcement schedule is the most immune to extinction. This is one of our first attempts at tunnel training. At first it appears as if Muriel is camera shy. Perhaps the camera acts as a discriminative stimulus in that the presence of the camera with the target stick signals to Muriel that the trainer is multitasking and is less likely to reinforce the behavior correctly. The more likely explanation is that she is a fish. You will see Muriel follow the stick through the tunnel successfully. I'm not sure what the DSM-5 says about eating disorders in fish, but Muriel likes to eat her food, throw it up, and then eat it again. Here you see Muriel being what behaviorists call a champion. The latency period of the behaviors are getting shorter and shorter as Muriel's association with the stick and the food gets stronger and stronger. Here you see Muriel going through the limbo by following the stick. After being reinforced by the food for so long by following the stick, the new behaviors are easier to elicit because she more readily follows the stick as her response is strengthened. In other words, the latency period is shorter for each behavior learned. This is demonstrated in this next video when she successfully completes the slalom on her first try. Successive approximations are not needed in this case because she so readily follows the stick. You can also see the strength of the response increase with each trick she learns based on how she just flies through this obstacle course. She must take after her fish dads, Trey and Austin. I may or may not have sped this up, but you get the point. Muriel, fish number 7 in the tank, number 1 in our hearts.